Hello and welcome back. So in this video we're going to look at method 3 for finding the traces of a plane that contains our lamina here like so. So we've already seen two other methods of how we solve the traces for our lamina. So this is our third one. So also known as the auxiliary method. So the auxiliary method starts off very similar to method 2 where we have to find a true length line on the plane. This true length line is our strike line and it is a line that's parallel to the horizontal trace like that. So what does that look like? Well, there is our line like that, parallel to the horizontal trace. We know that because the horizontal trace is a level line in elevation, our strike line here will be horizontal as well. So I pick any 3 points in my elevation and I draw a level line from it. So there's my line parallel to the horizontal trace and I locate it in my plan view, exactly as we did for method 2. So there is our strike line there like that. And just again, if you want to label up your points 1, 2, and 3, our point here is on 1 and 3. So there's 1 and 3 there. So that helps keep track of things. So there is our strike line as it's known, or sometimes known as a trace line. And we know it's parallel to the horizontal trace. So we know that if we look along the horizontal trace, we will see the entire surface here as an edge view. This goes back to our previous principle that if you get a point view of a line, you'll see the line as a point, and if that line is on a plane, the plane will be seen as an edge. Well, how do you get the point view of a line? You look along a true length line. And in this case here, this line here is a true length. It's horizontal in elevation, so it is a true length line. So that tells me that if I look along that, I will see this line as a point, I will see my lamina as an edge, and I will see the plane it's sitting on as an edge. So that's exactly what we do. We set up our auxiliary plane perpendicular to this guy here, and there it is like that. So that's 90 degrees perpendicular to the angle of our strike line, and we project our lamina onto our auxiliary plane like that. So we do exactly the same thing. So all our lines all in line with our strike line like that, taking our heights from back one view, two views. So there's our heights for each of our points, giving us our edge view of our lamina. And then to find the traces of it, let's find the horizontal trace first. What we do is we extend our lamina until it meets the ground. So in our auxiliary, the ground is the x1, y1 line. So we just extend him on, and there he is like that. So that's the point where my horizontal trace is seen as a point view. So that's my horizontal trace. We know the angle of the horizontal trace is going to be parallel to this guy here. So there is our horizontal trace parallel to our line like that. So there's our HT like that. Now to find the vertical trace, all we do is we can pick a point on somewhere on the vertical trace. So we don't know where the vertical trace is in elevation, but we do know that the vertical trace is on the back wall in plan view. So if I pick any point on the trace here. So that's point P. We know that in our plan view, it will be on the horizontal or the XY line. So that's exactly what we do. Um, there's point P anywhere along here like that, as long as he's like so. There he is. Point P is on the XY line, so that's on the back wall. We find that on our plane in our auxiliary view, so that's the same as finding it there like that. So there's our point P3, and we know that by projecting it from here up into our elevation, well, the height in our auxiliary should match the height in elevation, the 1-2 rule. 1, 2. This view and this view are both elevations, so the height that we would have here, h1, should match the height here, and that gives me my point. How do I know it's on the vertical trace? Well, P in our plan view is on our vertical plane. That's why it is. So we just simply join it up, and there's method 3 then, finding our vertical trace, and that gives us the overall plane.